We do want to stay with this right now. Ian Bremmer is president of the Eurasia Group and G0 Media. I want to thank you for coming in as we try and parse both of these negotiations. We are going to start with Iran.
Sure.
As you just heard Natasha say, the U.S. is armed and ready at Iran's doorstep. There was optimism out of these talks. I am wondering if you buy that. And does that optimism mean that Iran gets to keep its missiles and its peaceful nuclear program?
If Trump were prepared to accept a deal that was only focused on uranium enrichment and stockpiling, then sure, it would mean that. But there's no reason to believe that. President Trump, I think, is the reason that you have all this military equipment, which is continuing to steam towards the region, is because he believes that he has the upper hand in these negotiations through military threat. He also understands that the last couple of times he's used the military against the Iranians, both this past year as well as the end of his first administration, the Iranian government has not been able to or willing to respond against Americans. And so I still think the likelihood that we're heading towards some form of military action, at the very least from Trump to improve his negotiating position, so more limited strikes, possibly larger strikes over the coming weeks, I think that's still the baseline expectation.
Yeah, and that is interesting given all the assets that are now in the region. We go to Ukraine. Stalling, as you know better than I, has been a very successful tactic for Russia so far. President Trump is now saying again, look, Ukraine needs to come to the table fast. That says to me that there really is no deal here to be had. What are your impressions?
President Trump understands that the Ukrainians are a lot weaker. And therefore, if you want a ceasefire, the easiest way to achieve one is to force the Ukrainians to capitulate and move closer to the Russian position. That has been what the Americans have accomplished over the last 12 months. But still, Russia has not wavered even a tiny bit. The Americans have seen that. The French, who just sent their national security advisor thinking that the Americans are not including the Europeans, so they'll try. They came back. They got absolutely nothing. And so, you know, what I heard from a lot of the European leaders that I met with over the past several days was a concern that if you were to achieve a ceasefire that was essentially purely on Russian terms, that they increasingly oppose it because they believe that the Russians would use it to rearm, to strike Ukraine again, and possibly to engage in false flag attacks even against NATO frontline states. So today was, sadly, on the negotiations front, today was 0 for 2.
And, you know, we've seen this play out before, whether it's Iran or Russia. Both are very proficient at dragging out negotiations like this for their benefit. It doesn't mean it works all the time, but it does work some of the time. And that's because in each situation, the stakes are so high for these negotiations. Given this, I am curious to hear your thoughts on if you believe Witkoff and Kushner, the two main negotiators for the Trump administration, should be doing all the heavy lifting here.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have coordination between the United States and its allies, you know, that I'd rather have them be seen to be on the same side and trusted by each other, because I think you get more when you're coordinated with a large number of countries. That's clearly not happening. But having said all of that, even though the negotiations are not going the way the Americans want, Iran today is in a much weaker position than they were a year ago. They don't have military strength of this so-called axis of resistance across the region. Their nuclear capabilities have been significantly degraded in the 12 Days War last year, and they weren't able to do anything against the Americans in response. Oil prices are still comparatively low because the Iranians don't feel like they have that leverage. Russia today, they've had 30,000 casualties in December, in January. Their economy is increasingly diminishing. The Indians aren't buying the oil they used to from Russia. And the Europeans are spending a lot more, not only on Ukraine, but on their own military capabilities. So even though the negotiations aren't going well, I would hate to be in Iran or Russia's position as they continue to say no to the United States.
Yeah, and we can see, though, if Kushner and Witkoff are the men to bring this deal home in either regard. I do want to talk quickly about the puppet regime, a creative vehicle, we'll call it, that G0 Media has. We're going to have our viewers take a listen.
Alright, Zelensky, check out this new peace proposal.
Does it contain NATO-style Article 5 security guarantees for me?
Bro, why are you stressing? Just keep it light.
So we all get a flavor there. You can see much more online. I am wondering, Ian, why is this the time for this? What does this vehicle do in terms of adding to these discussions of geopolitics at a very serious time, I might add?
Look, for a long time, you've been able to deliver a better understanding of what's happening in the world by keeping it light, as they say, and especially because people's hair's on fire over how angry they are politically with one side or the other. This is, I think, a cuter way that you can actually reach everyone across the political spectrum without making judgment, with just putting it out there. At the end of the day, if you're a puppet Trump or a puppet Putin, a puppet Zelensky, the stakes are a little bit lower and people are more willing to listen. That's at least what we found. 200 million views later after the last 12 months, got to be doing something right.
See, at least help explain some of what is going on there to everyone who, at this point, would not be blamed for being concerned and confused. Ian Bremmer, thanks so much. Really appreciate you coming in.